Good afternoon, everybody. How are we all doing today on this gorgeous Thursday? It's very autumnal, isn't it, today? Me and Matthew went for a walk this morning. I'm a bit dishevelled there. We went for a walk this morning, and how autumnal it's suddenly got, hasn't it? So, hey, whoever's here live, do pop a, lovely, bonjour Chantal, bonjour. So if you are here live, do pop a hey in the comments so I know that you are here live. Hey Rachel, lovely to see you. And, again, if you are catching up on replay, I know a lot of you catch up on replay, do a hashtag replay so I can come back to you later on. So today we are going to talk all about negative emotions. So first of all, I'm going to just do a little backtrack and just introduce myself and why I've picked this topic today. So, because it's been a bit of a while, since I've kind of introduced myself. So for one, I used to be a HR director. I was in HR for over 20 years and I absolutely loved what I did. But reaching the top, if you like, wasn't everything I thought it would be. I did a huge amount of people pleasing, comparing myself. I'd actually got quite a lot of low self-worth and I gave myself a really hard time. It was one of those where I was waiting to be caught out for kind of, I believed that I shouldn't be there. That whole thing of doing things but thinking that you're gonna, it was just a fluke that I was there. And I know obviously now that that's imposter syndrome. I didn't know it then. But I was very much refined on the outside, ultra confident, yet inside I wasn't like that. And a lot of that was because I used to suffer very badly with migraine headaches. And they'd really started to interfere with my everyday life. So, to the point of, I literally would be travelling a lot in the week and I would get to a weekend and literally crash and be in bed for, the whole weekend a lot of the time. And this was happening a lot. This wasn't something that I would just have something one day and that was fine. It was happening a lot. I was incredibly stressed. And it was really affecting, my family life, my whole life. It was really affecting my whole life. And I'd actually first delved into kind of the world of NLP way back in 2012. And it was actually as a business diploma that I did it first of all. So being in HR, NLP, coaching and that type of thing was part of my role anyway, the personal development aspects of getting the best out of people. And that was my initial reason for doing NLP was to use in business, which I did do. I didn't realise how much it would impact me personally. So I actually had done the business diploma and then I actually started to see an NLP coach myself personally. And actually using timeline therapy and various other NLP techniques with this coach, I was able to clear up the negative emotions and blocks that were affecting my life. And those negative emotions, they stemmed from me bottling up all my emotions from when I'd lost my mom in 1997. I was absolutely devastated when my mom died. And I'm pretty certain that what I actually did was, because at the time I literally just got engaged, I was due to be married, and I had my daughter a few months after my mum had died. And, I kind of had everything happen at the same time. And I know I probably put it in a box, parked it away because I couldn't deal with it at the time. That was the bottom line. And obviously then, what I didn't realise was how the mind and body are interlinked. This stuff is so powerful when you start understanding how the mind works. And, I didn't realise that those negative emotions that, you know, like the sadness and the grief and all of those types of things, how me pushing them to one side because they were just too difficult to deal with there and then, were then showing out as physical symptoms in my body. I didn't know it then, but I obviously know why that kind of happens now. Let me know if any of this that I am talking about, if any of this resonates with you at all, or if you've got very similar things. And I actually haven't had a migraine now in well over 6 years. It's probably more than that, but that's me just kind of just saying I'm pretty sure it's definitely over 6 years. So this, you know, what I did at the time, it really triggered something else in me. You know, I wanted to learn more and more about what was actually going on. You know, why was I doing what I was doing? Why was I almost, you know, pushing stuff away, which was then impacting me on my life? And I wanted to know a bit more of the science of that. Yeah, Rachel, yeah, it's NLP is a game changer. And it literally, so I kind of went on from that business diploma, if you like, and seen an NLP coach to the NLP practitioner, first of all. And that course literally transformed my life. So as Rachel says there, it can be a game changer, and it really was for me. So not only did it clear up the blocks that had been stopping me moving forward and getting the success that I wanted. So even though I'd kind of thought that I was getting the success because I'd got this HR director job, it was kind of one of those that you go, but, you know, if it's affecting other areas of my life, is it really successful? And, you know, doing that course, it opened up so much more for me personally and professionally. And I'm now an internationally qualified NLP and timeline therapy trainer and a master coach. So I run NLP trainings now, right from foundation level all the way up to, you know, NLP practitioner and master practitioner. So for those people that just, you know, want to transform their own lives, right the way through to those that want to be expert in NLP and, you know, want to be a coach themselves and to be able to coach others to transform their lives. Hey Mary, lovely to see you. So again, I've experienced that transformation myself, and I want others to experience that transformation too. You know, I am so passionate now about assisting individuals go from being stuck and having this stuff, you know, these negative emotions that pull you down, drag you down, to being unstoppable and transforming your life and taking your life and your business to the very, very next level. So for me, it's all about actually, you know, breaking through everything that has held you back in the past so that you can live the life on your terms, you know. Now, following on from this, I was actually at an event over the last 2 days, and yesterday was all about personal development. So again, it was great for me when I'm in the personal development field to actually have that personal development myself. You know, it's really important for me that I continue to grow. One of the things that struck me actually about yesterday, and at this event there was quite a lot of people. It was about 50 people at this event, and I was surrounded by 5-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure business owners. So it's great to be in that environment of, you know, people at different levels of their business growth. What was surprising with all of that, you know, was that no matter what level you're at, so whether you are hitting that £1 million mark now, or whether you're turning over your 5 figures, you know, that each person still faced challenges that included the negative emotions that they are still holding on to affecting their life. So it was one of those things, you know, I've obviously already talked about to you now how negative emotions affected my life, my health, my well-being. So I thought it was really useful today to come to you to kind of go, actually, what are negative emotions? What actually are them, they, and, what can we do about them? And are any of them any good? Because I think, first of all, we suddenly start saying, oh, right, all of these negative emotions are really bad. But, so I just wanted to put a bit of context all around it, really. And what can we do about them if we have got these ones that are affecting us in our life? Because one of the things that, again, I noticed yesterday was if we don't confront what's kind of painful for us now, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. What's the phrase? What we resist persists. And that's certainly what I picked up from yesterday. And almost quite surprising, really, that, like I said, being in this kind of room full of these people, every single person had stuff going on for them that they knew was holding them back and wanted to clear. So one of the things I wanted to kind of say was that it's not the negative emotions themselves per se, it's your response to them. And majority of those emotions that we're holding on to, a lot of them have actually arisen out of our childhood memories. So we're holding on. Oh, thanks, Mary. Mary, you were at the event as well. So it was a great event, really great event. And what an eye-opener. And great to step back when you're in that field to actually reflect yourself and kind of what you can do. So that's a great thing that I also, it's great to always be growing. So on a good note, I wanted to start off on a good note that your emotions are a huge source of information for you. They will help you understand what's actually going on around you. So even negative emotions will actually highlight stuff that's going on all around you right now. Now, if we're very aware of them and we are able to kind of freely express our emotions without that attachment or judgment, allow them to kind of flow naturally, they don't affect our health negatively then. But we've got to kind of move into that space. So those feelings, those emotions, they give us really useful messages. So for example, anxiety and anger as a negative emotion, and I'm saying that very loosely because actually anxiety can be a positive emotion, although we might not always see it like that. But anger and anxiety, they show us that something needs to change, that maybe our well-being is being threatened at the moment. So it's giving us these little pointers. Fear is another negative emotion, but it can actually, it's one of those that it's actually appealing to our safety mechanism. Fear is one of those that is highlighting us that our safety is being threatened, but it's a driver that takes us out of our comfort zone. Frustration and resentment actually can motivate us to change something in a relationship. If we're feeling frustration or resentment about something, it actually is telling us, again, that something needs to change. That maybe we need to tweak something in a relationship. So basically negative emotions are there to alert us that something needs to change and then to motivate us to make that change. So they are actually, really normal. They can be really helpful part of life. And what we've got to be careful of is that we don't fall into that that false positivity thing where, the happiness trap. Who knows about the happiness trap, that we kind of believe that all of our emotions, our negative emotions, are a sign of weakness. And, we kind of berate ourselves and shame ourselves for experiencing those. And we kind of deny them. You know, I know for me, I've already said that I know from personal experience that trying to hide away from those negative emotions can really lead to much deeper emotional pain, much further emotional pain. So the point I'm trying to say with that is, what we want to try and do is embrace our negative states there, and then look at ways that we can counterbalance the uncomfortable stuff in a better way. Because the problems arise when we push those emotions down, when we bury our head in the sand. We kind of know that they are going on, but we, like I did, we pop them away in that Pandora's box. And this actually then stops us from really thinking and behaving rationally and seeing situations in their true perspective. We then have a habit of dwelling on those negative emotions. A lot of this is unconscious stuff as well. For me, I wasn't going around going, yeah, I'm pushing everything and I'm pushing everything down. I'm burying my head in the sand. I didn't know that that's what I was doing. And I then didn't know the effect that it was actually having on my life. So we often then, when we're pushing them away, and we're in denial, we can actually, really make things worse for us. It puts a lot of stress on our own body. It can lead to physical health problems. So, chronic stress and overwhelm, and it can really zap your mental energy. It can have a real negative impact on your body. A direct impact on your physical state. So again, let me know in the comments if you're aware maybe that you're doing this. Are you pushing some stuff? Are you aware that you've got some negative emotions and you're pushing them away right now? And do you know how that's impacting your life? So just let me know in the comments if that's something that you're aware of that you do. Now, what it can also affect then is your own relationships, your behaviours, as well as your health and well-being. It can affect all of those. So there is if you're not managing these negative emotions, they are not good for your health. They're really not good. And that's where NLP techniques and timeline therapy can really assist, because it's not the negative emotions that directly affects our health and our well-being, but it's how we react to those. How we process them, how we process that experience. You work through them with EFT. EFT is another modality that works really well of, involving, changing your language. Absolutely, our programs, it's not necessarily the emotions themselves, it is how we deal with it. And if we don't deal with it, it can seriously impact our health and our well-being. And in fact, one of the biggest ones, and all of this is scientifically proven, that anger, for instance, and sometimes when I say anger, people go, oh, I'm not an angry person. But anger can be interpreted in lots of different ways. So it can be a frustration, a deep-rooted frustration. But anger itself is shown to have the biggest impact on our health and well-being. When it's poorly managed. And like I said, we might not think we've got anger, but a lot of people that I do coaching, individual coaching, one-to-one coaching with, and timeline therapy with, they've got underlying anger predominantly from stuff that's happened in their childhood that they've not dealt with, that it's then actually showing up in other areas of their life. I'm not sure how I pronounce is it Tatovic? Have I said that right, Tatovic? Timeline therapy, it's a really, really powerful technique. It's what I credit with the change in me and what allowed me to really move on from where I was at. So timeline therapy, that assists us to remove the negative emotions at the root cause level. So it's that deeper level of change, so that you can effectively, you can have a clean slate. So this isn't around me kind of removing, so when it was done with me, it wasn't about me removing memories or anything like that. It was the negative charge that I was still holding on to that was stopping me actually moving forward. So for instance, for me, I could never ever remember my mom talking or moving. I could only ever remember her as a still photograph. And when I had timeline therapy, I was actually able to remember all the happy memories that I had, and which I'd blocked. I'd gone into preservation mode. I'd gone into, look, that's too difficult. So actually I was blocking it. But what it also meant was I couldn't remember any of the good times either, because it was just too raw for me. So when I'd had timeline therapy, suddenly all these happy memories came flooding back to me that I'd really put away, So it's kind of releasing the stuff that's that negative weight around your neck. So I was able to move forward. And then it gives you the techniques to assist you to have the awareness of those thoughts and emotions going forward, so that you can then positively deal with them, those events and situations in the future. So if you would like to learn any more about this amazing subject, if you want to actually be able to change these habits, patterns, and those behaviours that aren't working for you, then I'm just running my next NLP accredited training program. It's what I'm doing at the moment. So I'm just releasing the home study. So if you are interested, this is a live program, by the way. So we will be meeting live, but we'll start off with home study and online training. So if you want to experience timeline therapy for yourself and be able to use it with other people, so if you have got aspirations to be a coach, this is the most amazing program that you're going to do. So I will put the link to my next training program, but you've got to be quick. You've got to be really quick, because we go live on the 1st of November. And before that, I'd like you to go into the home study program and be able to get the theoretical knowledge, if you like, and then we will be practicing live. So if you're interested, drop me a message straight after this live. Get on the course straight away. It would be great to meet you. It would be great to actually pass on this fantastic subject to other people as well. It is literally, so as Rachel said, it is a game changer. And if you're interested in doing that, I'm also doing Master Practitioner. So if you're already a practitioner and you want to go to Master Practitioner, that is also at the end of November, middle of November and in January next year. So let me know if that's of interest as well. If you're already a practitioner and you want to be a master coach, particularly if you're using NLP, you want to be a master practitioner, you want to be the expert in it, to do that. So if either of those are of interest to you, please do drop me a message straight after this live today, and we can have a chat to see whether it's something that's right for you. So do let me know. I love reading your comments, so do let me know what the biggest ahas you've gained from today's session, and if there's anything that I can help you with, do let me know as well. So have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.